Sometimes NBA stars just want to get away from the spotlight and enjoy their life away from the media. However, sliding into the DMs while already in a relationship isn't the way to go about this.
We're breaking down 10 times NBA athletes were caught cheating with a teammate's wife. Number 10, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, Chicago Bulls.
Michael's popularity was on another level. Everyone was flocking to see him play, but there was one particular category where Scottie got the best of Jordan.
The Chicago Bulls of the 1990s were led by a competitive duo who you might know, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Who might the lady in question here be? Well, none other than a young Madonna herself. The pop singer used to sit front and center, eyeing up Mr. Pippen while his teammate Jordan was looking at her. Now, it is reported that the former assistant coach during that time, Johnny Back, mentioned that with Pippen, Madonna used to pick him up in a limo with a hot tub every time he went to LA. Details are sparse as the internet was non-existent, but there was definitely something going on that people thought were worth talking about. There's also a story that has surfaced where Jordan bet Madonna that he could satisfy her more than Pippen could. Wow, now we knew that MJ was competitive, but that is a little ridiculous. Number 9, Andrew Bynum and Jamal Mosley, Cleveland Cavaliers.
Word is your big ass is getting traded for another big motherfucker. How you feel about it?
Well, as long as they don't Lamar Odom me, shit, I'd rather be on the bench than on the street. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm about to go get my head shit twisted. I know this bitch said grab some bitch wax, she can make it do what it do.
Now, this might not be the wife of another teammate, but I would say the coach's wife is close enough. Andrew Bynum of the Cleveland Cavaliers was suspended a few years back after it was released that he had been suspended for conduct detrimental to the team, but was then given paid leave for supposedly having relations with the wife of Jamal Mosley, one of the coaching staff. He had started in 19 games and played in 24 that season. Bynum has now been out of the league for a few years and there are no signs of him coming back. Nobody could say for sure whether it was just for his play or if there was something more going on, but this is a doozy if there is any truth to it. Number 8, Matt Barnes and Derek Fisher, LA Lakers.
I would just say overall it was tough, because although I was the one that left my ex and filed for divorce and was ready to move on, just the whole overwhelming fact that I don't have my family no more and I don't have my little guys no more that I woke up with every day and took to school and played with and were my life. So splitting up with my ex, it was definitely the right thing to do, but just losing my boys in the process was tough.
Matt Barnes and Derek Fisher had once been teammates while playing on the LA Lakers. Fisher retired to become the New York Knicks head coach while Barnes sidestepped into forward on the Memphis Grizzlies. Barnes had recently divorced Basketball Wives LA star Gloria Govan when he learned that she had been seeing Fisher. This prompted him to drive nearly 100 miles from Santa Barbara to LA to fight Fisher in the backyard of Govan's home in front of friends and family. One source told the New York Post that the situation was very ugly. Barnes went crazy. He got in his car and went to the house and went after Fisher, the source said. Matt then drove down there to beat the shit out of him. Fisher certainly did nothing wrong morally, but clearly Barnes took this very personally. Number 7, Jim Jackson and Jason Kidd, Dallas Mavericks.
In 1994, the Dallas Mavericks assembled one of the NBA's most exciting young cores. By 1997, all of them were gone. The disbanding of the Mavericks is usually blamed on a love triangle involving pop star Toni Braxton, but that explanation isn't really accurate. And either way, it's not the whole story, not even close.
Another case from the early 90s included the young stars of Jim Jackson and Jason Kidd. The rift between the two started when a rumor came about that the two were dating singer Toni Braxton at the same time. As the popular story goes, Braxton arrived at a hotel the Mavericks were staying in while on the road to pick up Kidd for a date, but in the end, left with Jackson. Braxton never confirmed or denied the rumors, however, both players were shipped away after the ordeal. Unsurprisingly, Jackson has denied the rumors to this day, last discussing it during an interview with Colin Cowherd. "I sit there and laugh about it," Jackson told Cowherd. "I wish it would have happened. If it would have happened, it would have had more meat to it." Number 6, Gilbert Arenas and Shaquille O'Neal.
Former NBA baller Gilbert Arenas spills the tea on everybody in a recent video when he suggests that not everybody, but everybody cheats. Did he just low-key snitch on all his homies?
In 2010, rumors began to swirl that Shaquille O'Neal was having an affair with the Wizards star Gilbert Arenas' fiancée, Laura Govan. Emails were leaked between the 7-1 center and Govan that went into explicit detail on what they were going to potentially do. This led Shaq's wife Shawnee to file for separation from her husband, citing irreconcilable differences. Arenas would be out of the NBA around this time, and there is still some mystery regarding this supposed affair. Gilbert Arenas denied that his woman had indeed hooked up with Shaq, but he seemed to change his tune earlier this year. Arenas had submitted his medical records as part of a defamation lawsuit he filed against Govan. Arenas claimed that Govan had defamed him by saying he had developed an STD. Arenas fired back by saying Govan had caught an STD from Shaq. Govan refused to submit her medical records in the lawsuit. Number 5. Karl Malone and Kobe Bryant, LA Lakers.
So Carl's wife gave Vanessa his phone number and shortly after called Malone on his cell phone to offer his son to come sit with her. And this is where things began to turn very weird.
Karl Malone found himself in hot water with Laker star Kobe Bryant after he allegedly tried to make a pass at Bryant's wife Vanessa, escalating into some locker room drama. One day Malone was wearing a cowboy hat and boots, in which Vanessa asked, "Hey cowboy, what are you hunting?" prompting him to respond with, "I'm hunting for little Mexican girls." That was the start of a sting of inappropriate comments. That friendship went sideways quickly, and just last year during an interview Malone said, "I'll fight Kobe if he's still mad I flirted with his wife." At the time, Kobe was indeed very upset at his teammate, as this is what he had to say on the matter back in 2004. What he said is what he said. "I believe in my heart that it wasn't a misunderstanding. My wife wasn't going to stand for it. She felt uncomfortable being around him to the point that she felt she had to call his wife and tell her." Number 4. Delonte West and LeBron James, Cleveland Cavaliers.
The word from David Stern's office is that Delonte West has been sleeping with LeBron's mother for a couple of months now, and LeBron has recently found out. For some reason, Delonte is still alive, but not for long. When Cleveland fans find out for this reason LeBron wants out of Cleveland no matter what.
LeBron James found himself in the center of a bizarre story when it came out that one of his teammates, Delonte West, had slept with his mom. Basketball Hall of Famer Calvin Murphy responded to the rumors on an ESPN radio station, confirming the claims as absolutely true and absolutely horrifying. The rumors were rampant during King James's final season in Cleveland in 2010 before he left for Miami. Some people pointed to this as the reason why LeBron's performance in the 2010 playoffs was subpar. West had a son a couple of years ago and explained why he didn't name his son Delonte Jr. Ironically, West took a dig at LeBron on Twitter earlier this year, seemingly implying that he had in fact hooked up with his mom. Number 3. Shannon Brown and Pau Gasol, LA Lakers.
Lakers guard Shannon Brown, very bizarre over the weekend, saying, "Okay, let me put an end to this right now. I did not sleep with Pau Gasol's woman." First and last time addressing it. What do we make of this?
Pau Gasol was an LA Lakers All-Star and happily engaged to his lady, Sylvia Lopez Castro. However, during the playoffs, he failed to show up and play like he usually could, and his numbers dramatically declined. The Lakers were eliminated from the 2011 playoffs early on, failing to hit the three-peat after taking home the title in 2009 and 2010. It was then released that an unnamed teammate, which would later be Shannon Brown, was having an affair with Castro, breaking up the engagement. Sleeping with your teammate's wife is bad enough, but if you're going to do it, don't do it during the playoffs. Number 2, Tony Parker and Brent Barry, San Antonio Spurs.
What do you walk away from with this experience?
Oh gosh, a lot. For me, being a woman, I realized you cannot identify yourself through a man or through your marriage.
Amen.
Yeah, or through a partner. Yeah.
When you're married to someone as stunning as Eva Longoria, how could you possibly have a straying eye, let alone a sexting relationship with someone else? Well, it is possible as Tony Parker of the San Antonio Spurs became involved in a relationship with teammate Brent Barry's wife. The two couples were all close friends, and it is reported that Longoria discovered hundreds of texts between Parker and Aaron Barry. Longoria dumped him and had the tattoo of their wedding date removed from her wrist, while Brent Barry also opted for divorce as well. Tony Parker talked about the divorce last year in an interview with Hello Magazine. "It's not easy to leave a relationship because when I get involved in something, I want to do well. The exposure I could not control. This is the world we live in today. Everything is on the internet and on social network sites. I never paid attention to what people said. Hollywood is another world on another level." Number 1, Jason Richardson, Leandro Barbosa, and Steve Nash, Phoenix Suns.
There were already rumors before this incident of Steve Nash cheating on her and she cheating on Steve Nash, so it wasn't too much surprise when the story went down.
Now we had to save this one for last because this is by far the most bizarre and shocking situation we have ever seen in pro sports. One of the stickiest situations to date was between Steve Nash and 2 of his Phoenix Suns teammates. Steve Nash filed for divorce the day after his wife had a baby. I know, pretty heartless, right? Well, not in this case, as his wife gave birth to a baby of African American descent. The child's true father was initially speculated to be Leandro Barbosa, and the more probable candidate moved to Jason Richardson. Richardson was traded days after Nash announced the divorce between him and his wife. Nash made only one statement on the matter. "This is a bittersweet moment for my wife and I. After 5 years, we are now in the process of dissolving our marriage. This will be my only statement on this." You can understand Nash not wanting to go into further detail, as this must have been the worst day of his life. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new content. This has been our breakdown of 10 times NBA athletes were caught cheating with a teammate's wife. Have a good one.